Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee with Kim and Hills.
It's Thursday. So excited.
Yeah, we are excited. I feel like, okay, so you know my sister. She is pregnant. It's Thursday, so tomorrow she'll be 39 weeks pregnant.
I was going to say, I think she's pretty close.
She's really close. Isn't that cute? We're both pregnant together.
It is pretty adorable.
Yes. Which it has been really fun. We're super close in age too. We're only 20 months apart.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys were that close.
We were 2 under 2 as well. I'm having 2 under 2, and my sister and I were 2 under 2.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Good luck on that one.
Yeah. No, seriously, I know. So everyone's like, good luck. But yeah, she literally could just give birth any second.
Yes.
So we're all just like waiting by our phones. And like the other day we had a false call. Like she texted me super early in the morning, and my sister doesn't get up early. So I was like, this must be serious. And she was like, I think it's time. I think it's happening. And it's so funny because like when you get close, like anything, you're like, is this what it is? And
I feel like probably even the second time around where you're like, oh, when they say it goes much faster the second time,
right?
You're like, oh, gotta go to the hospital. I remember taking the birthing class, and there was a mom who it was her third child.
Oh my gosh.
And there was another mom who was her second child. And the instructor was talking to all of us like, first-time moms, when your contractions are 5 minutes apart, give a call to the hospital and then get on your way.
Yes, okay.
And she was like, you two ladies, you feel those contractions, you just go straight to the hospital. You don't need to call. You're having that baby quick.
It's because your body just goes, like I think your first time you're pregnant, your body is just like, I don't know about this. It's like even like with expanding for the baby, like like everything, it's like, I don't think so. I don't want to. You know what I mean? And your second time, your whole body's like, oh, I'm fine. It's like, I'm ready. I know what this is. Yeah. I'm not scared.
Muscle memory.
Yeah. Except it's weird because like my brain doesn't feel that way. My brain does. I'm like, body, geez, you're a little too relaxed. It's a wild world, I'm telling you, pregnancy, childbirth, but I'm so excited. I'm like,
so excited.
We're like right there, and it could happen any day now. It could literally happen right now. I'm just very excited. It's exciting. She's having a little boy this time, too. We have so many girls in the family that...
Adding a boy to the mix.
Yeah, we're adding a boy to the mix. So
good work.
It should be fun. Do you have any good weekend plans?
Nothing crazy. Actually have a mellow weekend for the first time. Nothing planned.
Good, that's
very excited about that.
Good, I hope it stays that way.
I hope so too. Things can change very quickly in the next
surprises.
24 hours.
Yeah, I know. We don't want any surprises.
No, exactly.
You deserve a chill weekend.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
What about you? Anything fun?
No.
Other than standing by your phone and being like, is it time?
I know. I feel like I'm just like on call, just waiting, basically, No, nothing that exciting. Like I said last weekend, that was like a big event for us to have a barbecue with friends over. I mean, the amount of like planning that goes into it, I think it's more Tam and I, like we just like get excited. And,
yeah.
Like, what are we going to make? And we like to make so much food, like always too much, and so I think, it's just recovery. We're just going to chill this weekend,
That sounds nice too.
Watch Stranger Things. We are so in it right now. It's so good. Do you watch it?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
It's not my jam. We're watching The Sopranos from the beginning though.
Oh yes, you've mentioned this. It's inspired meals. You are...
Yep.
Yes, we
had a caprese salad the other night with tomatoes and basil, both from our garden. So it was like...
That's like one of my number one pregnancy cravings.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like fresh and cool in these hot summer days.
You still get cheese.
But you get the cheese. Cheese, because I'm not a meat eater. Well, I'm a pescatarian, so I'll eat fish, some fish and stuff. But cheese is kind of like my meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just, caprese salads. Oh, so good. All right, well, let's get into hot topics. We have a fun hot topic today. It's financial advice from America's founding fathers. And this is from our favorite, Kiplinger. They bringing us the fun articles. This is interesting. I never thought about it through the lens of our founding fathers, but so many things apply to today as well.
It's true. I mean, I think It's interesting that, especially this time of year, I get 4th of July was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But there's always this nostalgia for the founding fathers and like America, I feel like right during this time. I think there's right now questions about the Constitution and how that applies to
Just
modern
a little
life.
bit. Yeah.
And a lot of things going on within that realm. But I think it is interesting that this group of mostly men, all men, all white landowning men.
Just say it.
Let's just say it. Let's just throw it out there. Some of them slave owners as well.
Yep.
They had such foresight to not only create the Constitution, for better or worse. There's some great things about it. There's some things that should be updated or at least interpreted more modernly, in my opinion.
Totally.
But also, they had some great advice to tell people about just everyday life, and some of it still stands, which is crazy.
It totally still stands. I couldn't believe how relevant most all of it was.
Yes.
And how much of it, so many people don't follow either, even though it's totally still relevant.
I think that John Adams had one of my favorite quotes.
Which
in
one?
this article. I'm going to read it, so don't mind me. It said,
yes.
All the perplexities, confusion, and distress in America arise not from the defects of the Constitution, not from want of honor or virtue, so much as downright ignorance of the nature of coin, credit, and circulation.
That's it.
And he wrote this in a letter in 1787 to Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And I was just like, I think to me it's so interesting that he already knew that the Constitution was going to have its faults, right?
Yeah, I
Even
love
at
that.
time.
That's like the first thing that stood out to me, obviously, as you were reading it. I was like, well, thank you for saying that, that it's this imperfect, I mean, I think that's something that not a lot of people are willing to hear today, you know, and if he could say it back then.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that he's calling out financial literacy, when that's still something that we're struggling with, right?
Yeah,
today.
Absolutely. And I think it's really interesting that it's not only calling what money can do, but also credit, what it really can do for you.
Yes.
People don't understand the value of credit or how to use it really properly. And then also circulation. And I think that there is, and it's something that we talk about on the show a lot, but it's about how those different facets and how the economy and, whether it's the stock market or how companies are performing or different financials, understanding financial health and understanding these financial institutions, it doesn't matter what your economic level is, can only really help you level up your economic status.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I thought that was super relevant, especially for ROI TV.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. It's perfect. Okay, so let's move to Thomas Jefferson on the recipe for debt. Okay, and this was a letter written to Jefferson's granddaughter.
Yeah.
All right. And he said, never spend your money before you have earned it. So this means failing to live within your means leads to debt and financial insecurity.
Weird. The ultimate budgeter. TJ. He didn't do everything right, but he had a way with words.
Yeah, he did. Hey, you know what? He was promoting financial literacy in his granddaughter. That's one probably positive that he passed on to someone in his life, right?
Which is also very interesting, given that at the time, he wrote this in 1811. Women were typically not in charge of finances.
I know. That's what I think is what's so interesting about it.
So that is a very, poignant.
There's some foreshadowing to the future in all of this, isn't there? All right, well, before we continue on, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break, but please, we have so much more to cover on this topic. So we'll see you in a couple short moments. Welcome back, everyone. All right, we've got more financial advice from America's founding fathers. Don't worry.
Don't worry, there's more where that came from.
Yeah, there's more. We've got a lot of good quotes, don't we?
Yes.
We really do.
I love a good quote too. Oh,
yeah.
Man, I love a good quote.
Love a good quote. Okay, here's one. Here's one from Alexander Hamilton on sin taxes. I'm going to read this because it's a little bit long. Sorry, everyone. It is a singular advantage of taxes on articles of consumption that they contain in their own nature a security against excess. They prescribe their own limit, which cannot be exceeded without defeating the end purposed. That is an extension of the revenue. That's confusing.
That was a weird one for me.
That's a really weird one. I'm surprised I wrote it down.
Well, and I think what he means there is on those, a lot of things that are considered vices are taxed at higher rates. So alcohol has a higher tax rate typically than your milk or your orange juice.
Right.
And so it is a way to curb vices, like cigarettes. I don't even know what the tax rate is on those because I don't smoke, but I do know it's heavily taxed.
Right.
Because it is considered it is considered a vice. And so this is a way to...
It was a little long-winded.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Hamilton.
They certainly were.
But he knew that consumers would pay extra for their indulgences. So he was calling them out and saying, hey, check yourself, basically. But in a very, long-winded sort of way. But maybe back then it was not. But in today's world, we're like, we live in more of a hustle culture, right? We got to get to the point, all right? We've got things to do. We got places to be.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Abigail Adams had one that was very quick. So not only founding fathers, but, wives of, and certainly she had lots of
I like that they threw her into the mix.
Yes.
That was nice.
I wish there were a few other quotes from women, but
Yeah.
unfortunately it was the time.
Yeah. Alas.
And hers was on education and the importance of it. So learning is not attained by choice. It must be sought with ardor and attended to with diligence. And she wrote this to John Quincy Adams, who was her son, in 1780. And I think this applies to all sorts of education.
Right. Yeah, this was the only one that wasn't maybe specifically financially based, but
I think it also really applies to financial literacy.
Yeah, everything.
You can't just
educate yourself.
Yeah. You can't just pretend just think that you're going to know all about financial matters without actually diligently looking into them and, getting involved in them.
Right.
And doing the work to learn about them.
Totally. Yes. I mean, getting your education is important. Thank you so much, Abigail Adams. Educate yourself. All right, next is George Washington on tracking your expenses. So, fun fact, Washington was a stickler about keeping track of his money. When he was appointed commander-in-chief, he did not accept a salary. Instead, he agreed to reimbursement of his expenses after the war, and Congress agreed to his request, and he proceeded to record just about everything. Wow.
Yeah.
So he was a meticulous recorder.
Yeah.
Who knew?
And I think this is really interesting because the Continental Congress really didn't have any money. So they're like, yes, we will take you as commander-in-chief and not pay you a salary and just pay for all of your stuff.
Right.
He was, granted, a wealthy person outside of this, so he probably didn't need the outlay like some of the, like the soldiers who were underneath him, who also, I know there were periods of time during the Revolutionary War where they weren't getting paid on time or properly because credit was a hard thing for the U.S. to obtain until the French came in. Thank you.
Thank you. But he did. He actually went down in history as one of the richest men of his time. Congratulations, George Washington. Benjamin Franklin on death and taxes. In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes, which we've heard.
Yeah, I think, that's one we all know.
That's a keeper.
It's a keeper, and it's totally true.
It is.
I think Benjamin Franklin also said, wealth is not his who has it, but his who enjoys it. And he said this in 1736 in Poor Richard's Almanac. Which also, God, Benjamin Franklin was so old when the revolution actually happened.
I know, when you think about it, yeah. I know. He's like Biden as president. I love you, Biden. I'm sorry.
But I mean, it's true. There is definitely something about the attainment of wealth and then the attainment of money.
Yeah.
But if you aren't able to enjoy your life because you're just saving and just saving, then really, are you truly wealthy? I mean, your bank account might be, but
I like that sometimes we're reminded of that, though. Like we need to live our lives as well and enjoy what we've earned, you know, because sometimes it's all about like the structure of it and building it and planning for it, but you forget to talk about like the whole point is so you can enjoy your life.
Yes.
You know, so like we have to remember to do that too.
Yes.
So I liked that. I thought that was sort of a progressive way to talk about money and, you know, from back in the day.
From Benny Frank, as we call him in Philadelphia.
Benny Frank.
Nobody calls him that, just me.
It's not a Philly thing.
But he is
I believed you. I was like, oh, I guess
he is all over
Benny
Philadelphia.
Frank. When I go to Philly, I'll make sure to call him Benny. Like, you know Benny.
You know Benny.
When I'm ordering that Philly cheesesteak, I'm like, you know Benny. Benny Franklin. John Hancock on having and not having money. I find some money or other goes very fast. But I think I can reflect it has been spent with satisfaction and to my own honor. A letter to his uncle. Okay.
Yep. And he actually inherited a large fortune from his uncle. So not only known for his very large signature, but also he was a very wealthy man as well, and actually was a pretty good businessman.
So was he really saying it goes and comes, but when I have it, I have so much fun. So give me more, Uncle.
Probably in that letter, he was probably possibly asking for more. But I think what he does say there, how he ends it, is that spent with satisfaction and in my own honor, or to my own honor. Which, I mean, I think he's saying he spent it, but got to enjoy it, like Betty Frank said.
Sure.
And possibly in ways that, you know,
Pass it on.
Yeah, passed it on, or, you know, working with other people.
He has a great trust that he updates on the regular.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back to talk about the shows airing today on ROI TV. Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to remind you not to miss today's episodes of Elder Talk, Browns in Suits, and Options Crash Course. You can see them all on ROI TV. Where at exactly?
Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, on your phone or tablet, whether it's Apple or Android. And you can also find us on Distro TV. So check us out there.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on another week of Coffee with Kevin Hills. We'll see you next Monday with another big old cup of coffee.